Okay folks, so today we're looking at the 6 Series 2016-2017 Sunseeker stereo, and to turn the unit on, go ahead and press the silver button on the left hand side. Press it once, the lights come on, you can see the line come across the bottom of the screen, and it starts the system. While it's doing that, just looking at some of these buttons on the left hand side, you'll see there's an eject button where you can inject your disc. There's a square main menu button, and the menu button is handy because for wherever you are on the radio system, to get back to the main menu screen, you could just easily hit the main menu button. You can also hit the green highlighted SRC or source button on the screen. So hitting the main menu button gets you back to all your main options. And moving forward, again, your main dial, you can also adjust the volume for the radio or your disc with that button. And what's also pretty handy is that under the silver power button is a little hard reset button. So if the computer ever gets, or the stereo ever gets hung, or it gets into a spot where it's having issues, taking a paper clip or a pen and tapping that little button under the silver dial will reset the whole system and usually clear up any challenges that you're having. So that's handy. As you can see, we've got a USB port. USB ports are for charging only. You're not going to be able to get media through these USB ports. And then also, in this particular stereo, under the USB port is also an aux hookup. So if you provide your auxiliary cord now, hook up your phone to the auxiliary input, click the AV input 1 button right here, and now you can hook up and you can actually stream music off of your phone. We're not doing that right now, but you can do that. Looking further at the navigation, if you wanted to, or excuse me, looking at the main menu, if you wanted to click on navigation, go ahead and hit the navigation icon. You need to accept the legal terms of the system, promising you're going to drive responsibly. And when the map pulls up, on the bottom right hand corner is your main menu options. Now, when you hit those 3 bars in the bottom right hand corner, your options come up where you can either create a new route, you can actually cancel a route if there was already one in there. And what's really great is if you have issues or challenges with the navigation, you can mess with some of the settings. For example, let's click the settings button. If somebody or the last user was to click off the sound guidance or the voice guidance, go ahead and hit the sound icon, and we'll scroll down, and now we can actually turn on and turn off the voice guidance. So if you prefer your navigation with or without voice guidance, you'll hit settings, sound, you'll have to scroll down on the options and then go ahead and click voice guidance on or off. Most people prefer it on, but if you need to make that adjustment, that's where you would do that. Also, if you were to click on warnings, this navigation will, if told to do so, this navigation will tell you if you're speeding or not. To turn on or off the speed limit warnings, just hit speed limit warning and warn when speeding, and right now it's disabled. If you were to turn it on, you can, I don't know why you would want to turn that on, I guess to double check yourself if you're speeding or not, but more times than not it's going to be in the off position. If you had to turn it off, click on warn when speeding, click disabled, and now it's been turned off. You can get back to your main menu by arrowing over in the bottom left hand corner to get back to your main page. If you, or when you're prepared to get out of your navigation, just again simply clicking on that square menu button on the outside of the screen. Again, I'll focus in on that again. The square menu button, clicking that once when you're in navigation will get you back to your main stereo options. In the bottom right hand corner is the next option, which kind of brings you to the next set of options here. And really the only thing you may need to mess around with from time to time is the settings. And in settings is the time. So if the time wasn't right on the stereo and you wanted to adjust that, just go into your settings, click time, and adjust the time to whatever time it is. You also may need to adjust your volumes at times. These can sometimes get adjusted from previous users, where you can make the volume setting higher or lower for the radio by just highlighting that screen and then arrowing up or arrowing down to make the radio louder or not. And again, to get back to your main menu screens from wherever you are, just click the main menu button on the left-hand side. We can hit previous in the bottom left-hand corner. It gets us back to most of our options. So we've got USB port for charging your cell phones. You've got an auxiliary hookup, and what goes along with auxiliary hookup is your AV input 1, found right on the top right-hand corner. You've got navigation, which we've talked about. You can also watch DVDs from this front head unit. However, you can only watch DVDs on this front head unit when the vehicle's in the parked position. So you will not be driving while watching DVDs from this system. We have a secondary system, a secondary DVD player and TV monitor for watching DVDs while you're traveling down the road. Lastly, just clicking on radio. When you hit radio, the radio comes up and you can search for stations by arrowing over to your left and to your right. And again, making the volume louder or not as needed by using the dial on the left-hand side.
The agents have been identified,
and lastly, what we'll do is we'll turn the radio off by pressing and holding the silver button or the silver dial. So that is our 6 Series 2016-2017 Sunseeker Jensen stereo. I hope that was helpful for you. Enjoy your trip.